30 years ago, the world ended as a celestial talisman hung in the sky, bringing death and destruction. Heroes gather, but they are not the heroes of the tales of old. They are a new breed. Because when the world has ended, surviving makes you a hero.
That's right, and welcome to Travis Tavern's Talk. Stealing for Survival, our Sunday night Dungeons & Dragons game that takes place in the world which I write the Portals novels in, as well as the Downfall series. Tonight, the name of the episode is going to be Dark Hulls. Take that how you will. Work with that one. By the way, I should wait for this, but I'm going to say this right now. Something, I read a meme today, and I think I posted it to my Discord. I don't know if any of you guys actually read the Discord, if it's not a message directly to you. But it said something like, from what I understand, Dungeons and Dragons is like the Dungeon Master writes the heist movie, but the players get to choose if it's going to be the Pink Panther theme, Mission Impossible theme, or the Benny Hill theme.
100% on board with that.
And I'm like,
That's how I run Star Wars.
I love that. It's because we do have a dark set world, and something I've told you guys is take it where you want. You can't knock it off the rails. Especially when my notes are, like, let's just say not extensive might be a descriptor we can use. It's very...
minimalist, sir, minimalist.
There are clips notes.
It's, you guys are very generous in your descriptions. Anyhow... Okay, let me, trigger warning, disclaimer, bullshit title. We are recording a live podcast right now with a live chat audience, so if you're listening to this on podcast, you might be hearing us interacting with some of our viewers who are watching us play this live and throwing up sounds or support via subscription or money, etc. Definitely interacting with these kind folks who come and hang out with us. Other than that, for those of you in the live chat, we're recording a podcast, which means we might not get to everything that you put in chat because we are recording a podcast and we want to keep it pretty much relevant and entertaining. Not that everything you put in chat is not relevant and entertaining, but we just want the most relevant and entertaining. Other than that, yeah, adult show, adult topics, adult language. If you're easily offended, please leave now for your own sake. We like you too much to hurt your little feelings.
Run.
Yeah, I think that covered it. I'm Travis. Tonight I am going to be drinking heavily while running a game. Here's some whiskey. I picked that up today. I got cigars, and I have loose women. Well, I have 2 cats that are females. They're like loose women, but they don't shave their legs. Now, let's do some intros. We're just going to start in the lower left-hand corner. Chris, introduce yourself and your character and tell us one fun fact about your character that nobody else knows.
Ooh, I'm Chris. I will be playing Julian Cavington. He is a half Athene wizard, and he stole money out of his mom's purse when he was younger.
Wow.
And I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper tonight because sadly it's Sunday and all of the liquor stores are closed in my county, which made me sad when I was like, yay, I have a day off. Let's go to the store. No.
I went to the store. I got 2 bottles of whiskey. It's enough to share, but you're very far away. John, what about you? You want to introduce yourself and your character?
Well, I'm John from Conquest Publishing and Jersey's Cards and Comics. Previously, I was playing Jake Firedigger, Priest of Jonath, and I will currently be playing Baldereth Sapati. He's got a little bit of evil in him, and he doesn't know which way to take it. But we'll see where if that comes out later on.
Very good. And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron Kennedy of Clouder Consultants. I am currently playing Murph, Dragonborn Ranger, longtime associate of the family. I previously played Moggets, the wizard.
Very good. Now, I'll be running the game, and we don't have an NPC, at least not at this point in time. when we may or may not have one eventually. That is not a lesson subtle hint at all. Moving on before you guys get caught up in that. We will have cameos from these guys' previous characters. Matter of fact, we're going to start with that, and I'm just going to roll a dice and let somebody know randomly when their character leaves the scene so they can bring in their new character. Okay, so everybody's ready, right? Excellent. Let's do this. Okay, it was 3 years ago that you forgot to turn off the sound on my phone. So let's do that now. I gotta leave on the vibrator. I mean the vibration, the not silent. Damn it. Andrea might message. I gotta have that
You
on.
said what you said, sir.
I know. And I'm gonna own it and then hide it in a bedroom drawer and not tell you guys about it. Until you
Your
sleep over.
secret.
That's right. Okay, so as I was saying, 3 years ago, Moggitz, Jaith, and Kavlon entered a portal because there was a broken down portal system within the continent of Turon. And you guys were trying to use part of it, activate part of it. You were looking for things related to that. That was 3 years ago. Something happened along the way, far away. There was basically a magical conduit on the eastern coast that you guys have never seen. You've only heard rumors from different merchants and whatnot. But it's out there, and something happened with that and the highest spire, which is in the furthest west, and it opened up the portal network. It's still not 100%, and it's still not 100% reliable, but it is out there now. And you know Dathon's Pass, where you've been staying, which is in the southern portion of the rolling mountains between the Great Desert and where the Aphene once lived before they were hunted down and killed by humans for being traitors to, the whole world. Because, they were the ones that brought on the downfall. Everybody knows that. Except the Aphene, apparently. They were quite surprised to learn this. But, besides that, since then, you guys have returned. Lolly has been gone for well over 2 years. You haven't seen her or heard from her. She was with you on this portal excursion. Now, here's what I want to encourage you guys. You get to make shit up. Now, if I'm talking to Aaron, yes, just right off the cuff without me even leading in. But I will give you lead-ins, and to build on that would be appreciated. But, and here's how it works.
Have you bullshitted today?
The thing is, you might not even be bullshitting. It might be 100% truth. And not that I'm looking to have you guys... For example, if you come up with... Aaron has, we superimposed 7 worlds over this one, and now we have spaceship flying cyborgs. I'm going to be like, okay, so that's absolute bullshit. But if something you say does work out about the time passage guardian dragon spirit thing, but I don't want to talk about it, see, that's something I can work into the game and not just call bullshit on. So what you say may be taken and be part of the canon, or what you say might be Moggitz saying anything. It's hard to say. But I encourage you to run with that, and as I said previously, I also encourage you to go in the direction you want to go. That's enough preface. When we bring the other characters in, I'll give a little bit about each of them from what you guys have told me, and then you can build on that. So, here we are in the poorhouse in the middle of Dathon's Pass. Now, since you've been here, the interesting thing, speaking about Aphene earlier, you've only seen probably 5 or 6. It's hard to tell. They do kind of look alike. Even the females and the males look alike. Especially to a Rocairn. No, not a damn beard amongst them. Maybe if the women had short beards, the men had long beards, you'd be able to know the difference. But, yeah, that's not the case. Oh, damn it. There we go. But here you are in the poorhouse. Jaith is sitting on a wide bar stool, not barred stool. He did that last week. Moggets kindly asked him not to do it again unless there's a chance to sell tickets ahead of time. And there was a big
And to
disagreement.
flip it back over onto its feet.
That's right. The stool or the bard, either one. Now, Moggets and Kavlon run this bar together. Kavlon kind of does the back of the house stuff with the distilling and brewing, and Moggets kind of does the front of the house stuff with the bullshitting. And Jaith comes in and does the out of the house thing by drinking a lot. So it's a beautiful partnership.
He's our
and
number one
chemistry.
customer.
It's
Can I describe what I have been picturing the bar to look like this whole
Yes, but you have to
several
let
weeks?
Moggets equitably throw his 2 cents in, and then
Oh,
Jaith,
100%.
and then Jaith to mention maybe 2 or 3 things that he snuck into the bar somewhere, even if it's just like a big symbol of Jonathan burned into a wall, whatever he wants. So okay, go.
The good thing is that it started off much like Lucy's friggin' psychiatrist stand. So it was just the friggin' false thing, and then everything is built around that.
Right. It's a little thing. The door you come through and it says the poorhouse 5 cents, but the 5 cents is scribbled out several times with like lots of different amounts written over it.
So now we know what the thing over the door looks like. What's the rest of the place look like?
As capitalism goes, it goes one fresh cat. What?
So when you walk in, there's a big open room, fireplace, and a small stage on the left. On the right, just as you come in the door, is essentially a like caged off area that's full of straw and other nesting materials, and that is where Steve, the riding bird, habitates. And next to that is a little like, and insert copper here to get food, so you can feed Steve. There's also a sign above it that says management is not responsible for any actions, bitten children, or other mishaps that may occur while trying to feed the bird.
The bird.
Next to that is a room that goes off that says Moggets Inquiries, and it's like a little desk and a general store that's kind of, in my head, more of a joke shop where you go in to get your poo and other magical trinkets and fun things.
Things I have created and things that I have failed to create.
Yes.
Mostly relationships.
And then next to that room is the stairs that go upstairs to the inn portion, where there's like 8 rooms or so, and then my room and Mogget's room is up there. And then there are 12 tables, or no, there are 6 tables, and then an area that's just like a long bench with a bunch of little tables and a seat in front of it. And then the glorious bar is on the back wall as you're coming in.
Now, why is it glorious? What's glorious about it?
Well, because it's inclusive and it's long. Like, it's almost the entire width of the back, but there are like 3 counter heights. So you've got your like short folk counter height that's like 6 feet long, and then you've got your dwarfs in size thing that's like 12 foot long, and then at the very end there's another like 6 foot section for
It's
everyone
like the
else
dais at
who's
the,
human
at the
size.
Olympics.
But
It's like the dais at the Olympics.
yeah, kinda. Because, you know, Kavlon doesn't want to have to be climbing up no ladder to talk to people over the bar while he's serving drinks. Unless you sit at that far, tall end of the bar.
No, Moggets.
And behind that, there's a little kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and then the brewery section that's large. And
Now, Chris, can I ask you a favor? Can I give you homework? I know you're busy at work this week. Can you draw
Yes.
this out in an electronic format and then drop it in Discord, and Aaron will get it next and add his things like secret passages or penis graffiti or whatever he's adding. And
Whoa,
then
whoa, 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 whoa. You never show the penis, you just show the balls.
really
a little bit of neck, sir.
that never works in the park. It is not a pretty thing. So, Aaron, what other stuff do you have that you're going to add to this?
Well, behind the bar, there's a small set of stairs. It doesn't go anywhere, but it's a small set of stairs that goes around about 3 feet, so that you can do the Austin Powers walking up and down behind the couch thing, which is much easier than actually learning how to do that.
Very good.
Actually, it's actually to be able to reach the bottom shelf without bending over.
Okay, I'm curious how you
Because-
keep people from falling down there, or is this just a regular occurrence?
Yes.
Very good.
You know what? It teaches our bar staff to be nimble.
Does it?
I mean, in my head, we only have like one surly barmaid who like hates fucking everybody
Well,
and like
why is she
no
fucking
crap
everybody?
for anybody, but everybody loves her anyway. Like she'll insult you to your face,
Is
and
that,
you're still gonna tip her extra.
is that actually just Jace?
She's like Sweetums of the Muppets.
or like Jace on a part-time gig?
That too.
Yeah.
No, we weren't willing to give him an employee discount.
Doesn't know that.
Frequent drinker miles.
Anything else, Aaron?
If anybody tries to friggin' come across the bar, they are immediately informed your authority is not recognized in Port Kickass.
Is that it?
The upstairs.
Mhm.
No. The upstairs we do have backways into each of the rooms. Some of them are only dwarf sized, but we can get into the rooms if we have to.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's all very secure up there.
Very good.
As far as they're concerned, yes.
And, Jaith, have you secretly added anything, or not so secretly added anything?
Well, I know that they don't like me touching stuff inside the bar.
Mm-hmm.
So I've placed 171,443 cobblestones around the bar in like the holy symbol of Jonathan.
No, around, as in the outside of the building? Or around,
Yes, like circle, like it's right in the center of this giant holy symbol of Jonathan.
now, does that mean
Like sand art.
Does that mean you've gone on the roof and, like, glued stones to the roof also?
Yes.
So if somebody gets over on the top of the cliff face, they can actually see the symbol of Choneth protecting.
Yes, when the gyrocopter goes over the top that the road cairns have, they can actually see the symbol of Jonathan that's on top of the tavern.
Isn't the gyrocopter a sexual position, sir?
Not for O'Cairns.
No. Well, it should be, sir.
Nope.
I'll put that in the manual.
It just comes naturally.
It's the appropriate greeting of the day.
That's the employee manual, I'm guessing. Okay, so is that
Sure.
we got a good description then? Now I'm going to lay out a bit of the atmosphere here. First of all, it is autumn. The winds are blowing and cold. At first you thought they were just howling, but you now realize other things, great news, other things have come back to the surrounding forest to the western side, including wolves that now howl and scare the shit out of travelers and other people within the town. So since you were last here, there has been repairs to the various gates. But there's also been a few other things come up that we'll go into more later. But there has been growth, and the air is very cold and moist, and there's a chance of snow at this point in time. Now, here's something else. Since 3 years ago, when that thing happened on the East Coast, when you guys were doing your thing with the Portal Network, the weather has started becoming less crazy. So you're not getting like purple worms raining from the sky every fourth day and then brimstone every fifth day. You still get that on occasion, but you're seeing it every couple months now instead of a couple times
Weekly.
every month. Yeah. So something, either the planet is healing, and you've also heard rumors that far to the east in Land's End, the place that was called Demon Front, since they have banished the demons and shut down those portals, that place is actually blossoming, and it's taking back the desert and everything that had basically rotted into existence there some 150 years ago after Rondarius the Foul escaped. So anyhow, you guys are all sitting around, and it's been a reminiscent night. That's why all this stuff has come up. You guys are sitting there talking about, hey, the portals, do you remember that thing we brought back? Jaith is asking that one, and he's staring pointedly at Moggets.
God, that was so long ago. Friggin', how are we gonna... Well, not that I want to top it, but friggin'... Gotta make the legend bigger.
Well, we have to make the church bigger.
The
Kavlon.
bar. I was thinking the bar.
You've heard him refer to his penis when he's drunk as the legend. You're not sure if that's what he's referring to at this point.
Wait,
I've
James
also
or
referred to it as
Moggets?
the church, because that's where people come to pray.
Jaith calls his the hammer, not the legend.
So Moggets is the legend, Jaith is the hammer. Got it.
Nice. Any other? How about this? We're just going to take a moment here, and if it doesn't go anywhere, we'll just move on real quick. But how about this? Each one of you, tell me a memory your character has of that portal thing that took months to get through. And because you're time traveling, you're not sure if it was like 2 months or 14 months. You just know you've been back here. Well, actually, it was kind of confusing. You had a terrible time telling time after that long portal trip. You just know it's been 3 years since you first entered the portals, and you only know that because other people confirmed you left 3 years ago. This is the anniversary of that, of you leaving. Everybody celebrates the day you left.
I'm still wondering how much of that cheese they still have left.
Oh, the goat cheese? Or the
Oh,
yak
we had
cheese?
lots of its cheese. That was good cheese. We
Not
should try
butter,
and
though.
find that village again. What? No. I am not going. I have nice big still. We should send someone to find the nice yak men to get us more cheese.
Here, here.
Mm-hmm. Now, question for you. Can we
Yeah.
ferment cheese and butter into beer?
We have beer. And
I'm sure we could make something
That's what she
interesting
said.
with it.
Yeah, like a bite-sized beer. Like,
No, see,
like having
see
a
what
drink.
we do is we add beer to the cheese making process to make boozy cheese.
Well, we've already got the beer
Andrea,
cheese
by the
soup
way,
we sell.
gentlemen, Andrea's hit the "that's what she says" button when you guys were discussing this whole thing about beer and cheese, or cheese and butter into beer. Go on.
Oh my.
Oh my. I mean, nobody wants to eat friggin' hardened rations, but beer cheese.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Maybe not put cheese in beer, but put beer in cheese. And then we make bread with beer in it too, and it is just hearty meal for all. I will start working on this. I will get chef to start working on beer and bread.
And Kavlon
I'll be the taster.
leaps down and pitter-patters off as the door swings open. Now, which door do you have open? I know it's cold, but I know you guys are warm-blooded, so do you have just the waxed canvas dropped in the doorway, or do you actually have the door shut tonight? Because it is cold, but it is a warm fire. You have the kitchen enclosed, so the heat's coming out of there.
And you got Steve.
Oh, I meant to tell you a little bit more about that's true. Steve with his feeding corral in the corner. This is something else. The town itself is almost always perpetually in shade. Um, there's a brief
You're
time
welcome.
in the beginning of fall where the sun is kind of aligned as it's heading south towards the equator. It's kind of aligned, and you get a longer day in autumn than you do in summer, because when the sun is north, it actually, because of the mountainous wall, you lose a lot of the light. That is very cute. We are watching your chicken pop its head up. It's,
It's Steve.
so even, once we're past a certain part in the fall, you definitely see it's a lot. It's always shadowy here. Always shadowy. It's
Another Steve.
that's right. They're everywhere. Okay, so Kavlon heads out, and you guys are staring at each other, and you hear the eerie screeching from the other side of the bar that you guys are both very familiar with. Real quick guess. Anybody know what that noise is?
Steve?
Lolly's back.
No, it's Lefty using his magical chalkboard to write, but it has that horrible nails on chalkboard screech every time he does. Yeah. It's like that annoying girl in grade school who would do it just because she thought it was funny. But don't worry, in high school,
Oh, it was.
there was other things she was scratching, made her popular, like lottery tickets. So anyhow,
You got money to throw in a hole, that's where to go.
Lefty has written on his little chalkboard. It says, "Moggets, are you drunk enough yet?"
Yeah. Yes, I am.
He erases it, and it writes on there, "Do you remember what you bet in the last poker game with me?"
No, I don't.
Now, Chris, just so you know, Julian has entered, and he's stamping off the cold by the door. So, when
Great.
you decide to step forward and join in, and after a minute or two, you will recognize Moggett and Jaith, because you've been researching them. So, the chalkboard erases again, and it's all that white, cloudy, smudgy, and it makes like that. You know when you erase a chalkboard and it actually sounds like you're using cardboard instead of an eraser? It's like, and you're like, why is it doing that? It's that noise.
What sound was that again?
It's the same sound a dishwasher makes in the third cycle, which I need to hook up my dishwasher. What are you doing Saturday?
And for all of those young people watching, a chalkboard is something that was before a whiteboard.
Which was before a
Smart
video
board.
screen.
By the way, Andrea's heading out. Andrea's our fourth player. She chopped in chat while she's at work. She's hopefully going to be with us soon and joining us. So, work well,
Woohoo!
be safe, don't catch the COVID.
Try faster.
One answer to one question is what appears on
Oh, damn it. We gotta stop playing Truth or Dare. Alright. What's the question?
He erases it and he looks at you. You can see him get this kind of trickster, maniacal, happy look on his face, and it scrawls out, "What did you do with it?" 3 question marks.
I buried it in the sand to start with.
He looks at you suspiciously like he doesn't believe you.
Okay, well, I hired somebody to bury it in the sand.
He erases and it scrawls out, "Either you're totally lying right now, or you don't remember what I'm talking about." It's the same
Yes.
thing that I always ask about. Where's the ivory rod?
Oh.
You remember something happened during the portal thing. I don't remember what it is. I'm sure Moggets does, though.
All right, all right. I got dressed in my green uniform. I freaking grabbed my shield, went in friggin' to the forest, got a sword, and then traveled to Mount Doom where I threw it into a volcano.
This would be a good
Wait,
time for
no.
Julian to come up.
So Julian finishes dusting off his overcoat. He's a half elf of average height. He's 5'10" ish.
Can we modify this a little bit for my world? Do you know
Sure.
if he's half a fiend, which would be equivalent to a high elf?
Half inch. Sorry.
No, it's okay,
Yes.
because Dacium tend to be taller and lankier and more muscular, whereas Aphene are more androgynous and snotty, frankly.
Yes.
Not that you can't take after your human side, but they also tend to be slightly shorter than a human. Probably the males are the average height of your average human female. But as a half elf, that doesn't matter to you.
Yeah. 5'10". Darkish hair that's a little longer, straight, shoulder length ish, pulled back into a low ponytail that is definitely covering his ears, so you can't really tell if he's half Aphene or not.
How pointy are his ears?
More pointy than human
Okay,
ears.
good enough. Good enough. And
Nubbish.
what about his eyes? Does he have Aphene eyes or human eyes?
What's the difference?
Aphene eyes are almond shaped and slanted, kind of cat eye, not in pupil. Though in the dark they do shift that way.
Yeah, they're more that shape. Somewhere in the middle.
Okay, good enough. So somebody looking closely is definitely going to know. Somebody at a quick glance might miss it.
Yes.
Very good.
In a fedora, long overcoat, got a vest on, like traveling clothes,
So
and has a wooden staff that. Yes.
what I'm hearing here is he kind of resembles Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing.
Yes. Now that you say that, yes.
It gives us a quick
That
visual.
was not my intention, but yes.
Roy! Roy! It's been so long. Come here, Roy.
Has a staff. It's got a big brown ball on the end.
Roy!
Top or bottom?
On the top,
Go on.
and
The
when
wizard staff has a knob on the end.
it does, for now, when
Ruby,
Mogget
hey.
says Roy, the ball,
Roy!
2 eyes open up, and it essentially the head swivels around, and there's 2 eyes and a little beak, now looking at you as it sits on top of my.
Come here, Roy! Come here!
I'm sorry, sir. I will walk over to the bar. I think you are. Oh nope, I'm doing the Kevlon accent.
You can still. It's okay.
Roy!
He could be from that region of the
No.
world.
Lefty was just asking about you. He was asking about the stick.
I'm
He wants to
sorry,
know where
sir.
you hid it.
I think you've got me confused with someone else. My name is not.
No. I mean, you look a little young. You look younger. You look great. But Roy, come on. Lefty wants to know where the stick is. I told him. I hired somebody to bury it in the sand. And lo and behold, you show up.
Let me guess. You're Moggets, huh?
Yes.
I've heard
Wait,
about
you're not
you.
Roy. You're too young to be Roy. You
That
look like
is-
Roy. You know Roy?
I mean, Roy was, in fact, my uncle, yes. If I.
No wonder
do
you look like
recall.
him. Where is he?
Sure.
How's that son of a bitch doing?
Well, he's no longer alive.
Oh, dead. Yeah, okay. Well, shoot, that sucks. Sorry, Lefty. Friggin' it's gone.
The chalkboard screeches out its scrawl again, and it says, "Well, he could be worse."
I mean, he could be Roy. Roy's dead.
I
Oh, you're talking
think
about Roy.
that's what you meant. Yes. I'm here for a good drink.
Oh, okay. So what happened to Roy? Did he die like he wanted to? Between the legs of a hooker?
No, there was sort of a cave in, and he got squished under a very big rock.
That didn't say that it wasn't. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, you mean a literal cave-in?
Sure.
Oh. See, Lefty? I told you I hired somebody.
Lefty's chalkboard says, "An actual cave-in, not the type of cave-in you hope to get each night."
Hey, don't judge.
Right. Well, I've got a few traveling companions who are showing our mounts for the evening. I was
They're
wondering.
not chickens, are they?
No, they're horses.
Oh, okay. Very well.
I think we would probably enjoy some dinner, some drinks,
So would I. That sounds
rooms for
awesome.
the night, and probably a
Whoa,
conversation.
I just know you. I barely know you. I knew Roy. Roy's cool. I mean, did he ever tell you about the time over in friggin' Melistar?
Nope,
No,
can't
you're
say-
probably way too young to understand that story.
Sure.
Jaith, do
I'm
you want
going
to
to
throw?
go sit over here.
Do you want to throw
corner.
some assistance to this young man? And as I said, Julian, you recognized both of them.
Oh, Jaith will come over. Well, the only cave-in I'd like to do is, I won't speak bad of Moggets. So, what brings you to the pass?
Actually, I'm in search of some information, and I have heard many stories actually of your exploits with Moggets and the proprietor here of this lovely establishment, the Great Kavlon. Shush you. Quiet down, little Bertie. Stop chuckling. And yes, we are trying to understand more about the lovely portal network that you went through and how it works. It's a bit of a hobby of mine to investigate
Hey,
those
Jaith.
sorts of things.
Jaith, he's too loud. Nobody's supposed to know it exists.
How about later, you come to the church. It's 3 years in the past, and we'll talk to something a little bit more about this in private.
Well, I mean, there's only the three of you sitting here. And, oh my god, I did not see that big bird when I came in.
Why do you think I asked you? We only have room for one chicken.
By the way, Julian, you seem to have caught the attention of somebody else in the bar, because they're not the only ones in the bar.
Okay.
So, yes, somebody else definitely heard you mention portal system, and they are not very well hiding their interest as they try to look disinterested.
Sure.
You know, they definitely got that E.F. Hutton speaks thing if you've been around in the 80s.
Well, after I finish my wonderful night's drinking, you can come to the church. I'll be there.
Matter of fact, Jaith, you think it's a good time for you to make your way out of here and let Moggets run his business. You've got to go finish a few things at the church anyway.
Yeah, I didn't want to cause a cave-in either.
But as soon as you step out, whenever you're ready, you could bring in Baldareth.
Well, actually, what you guys will hear outside is the heavy footfalls in the ground shaking just a bit. Might be a giant or something out there. Who knows? And then there's a pounding on the outside of the wall of the whorehouse, and you hear in a loud, booming voice, "Knock, knock."
Who's there?
Nobody else. No bell.
I don't know a Nobel.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
No bell.
Play with it. Play with it.
I just said I didn't know a Nobel.
Come on.
No bell who?
No bell. That's why I'm knocking. Ha 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 ha.
Yes, yes. It's like
Round
we
one.
have heard that before.
Now, you said there was a regular door to the inn,
Mhm.
Yes.
to the tavern.
Mhm.
A rather small hooded humanoid, about 5'4". You can definitely tell that he's trying to use the hood to cover over a small set of horns. Probably the wisp of smoke that's coming off of from underneath the hood might lead to somebody believing that he might have some demonic background to him.
He is steaming.
Master Julian,
like
the horses have been stabled.
he is.
Oh, an elf!
He is storming, or he is steaming the way a horse that's been run hard steams in cooler weather.
Yeah,
and
he
also
is.
he does have moisture on him because it has started. What do they call it when it's mixed weather? Not
Misting?
sleeting, slushing.
Fogging.
What's that, John?
Fogging? Myth?
No,
Well,
no. It's in the weather report. They're like, we're going to have. I don't know.
Precipitation?
I guess mixed precipitation. It's not
We're
quite.
gonna have weather today.
It's not quite sleeting, but it's a little thicker than rain.
Indeed. Master Julian, is that another servant of yours that's speaking?
Who's the elf?
Oh, yes. This is my very good friend, Baldareth. He's one of my other traveling companions who will be joining me for the evening. Yes.
He looks a lot like one of Roy's companions.
Well, you should have your eyes checked, sir. Who is this
Why?
Roy that you speak of?
His
Oh, my uncle.
Roy.
I am Roy's servant, not his companion.
Yeah, well,
Should I get you a seat,
consider
sir?
it that way. No, it's fine. Come, sit. We shall have dinner.
Marcus, what do you have on the menu tonight?
Ooh, lamb stew. Or lamb stew.
That's better.
Now,
Great.
where Julian is going, is there anybody that's sitting at a table close, really close to it?
Yes.
I go over to them. You'll need to move over to there. The master likes to have his.
Now, are you being charming or are you being threatening?
No, I'm just asking. Yes.
Okay, you're asking.
Being
Well,
like upper, I'm going to throw you over there.
just checking. It's
Right.
So give
Actually, I will place a silver piece on the table by whoever I'm asking,
very good.
if you don't mind.
By the way, currency has started coming back. It's still not worth what it once was, but it does have some value in Dathon's Pass, since they're establishing a currency. But they are using old found coins, so it's quite a mishmash, and there's often scales involved in transactions. Moggins has a set behind the counter ready for any use in case people are bringing in teeny little gold pieces or, huge copper pieces. The person will smile and slip the coin off, and the two men that were sitting there will pick up their drinks and their plate and the bread platter, and they will balance it and head over to the other table.
I'll bow. Then I'll go over to where Julian will sit and I'll start wiping it down.
Oh, you don't need to do that. It's fine.
Sir?
No,
Archimedes,
please
come
do
on,
that.
come up.
Do that one and that one over there as well. If you do a good job, you can come back tomorrow.
I'll ignore him for the moment. Let's just sit. We'll take 3 of your lovely. That board says, quote, lamb stew?
Yes. Yes.
Great. 3 of those. 3 mugs of your regular brew that I've heard so much about. And we will be here at this table.
Okay.
Archimedes up, and he will hop off of my staff onto my shoulder, and then I will lean the staff down along the wall.
He will also start grooming. Now, do you have facial hair?
No.
Well, he will start grooming just behind your ear. Grooming you, not himself.
Oh, great.
Just to be clear, so. It's always handy for keeping those extra bugs and mites that you tend to collect on the road. Okay, so, Margaret, I'm going to have you step away now. And Murph can come in. Murph always takes a little extra time brushing down the horses and taking care of the animals because he's just got a bond with them. So, Murph can enter at your leisure as Moggett wanders away, leaving the bar to the employees, because that's why you have them, so you don't have to work. And besides, you just snuck away without having to answer any more questions about the ivory rod to Lefty. Now, Chris and John, do you guys remember what the ivory rod is? You remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
given by the
Nymph in the forest in Muggets.
force.
It was a
That great
triad.
magical powers.
But yes. Yeah, it was a...
Nymph, Dryad,
It was an artifact.
same general.
It's an artifact of Cineria, the goddess of nature and natural honor.
Correct.
Forests and whatnot. Okay. So,
It used to hum when Muggets got excited. I mean, got near demons. I mean, got excited.
so
All right, Jules. What's the status?
is that Murph?
Ah, Uncle Murph. Grand. Come, sit. They are bringing us dinner. It would appear that Margit, like legend, likes to talk in circles and not give any straight answers at all, which I find absolutely infuriating, but we will work on that. Master Jave has invited us to have a chat with them after dinner at the temple, I'm assuming, of Joneth, which is right around the corner there. So as soon as our dinner gets here, whenever that will be, because oh my gosh, it's taking forever, we can eat. I've requested rooms. Who knows what that will come about. Do not like this place very much.
It's a shithole.
Terrible service.
A young man shows up at the table with the 3 tankards of the brew you requested. They are copper tankards, but they are lined with ceramic.
Fancy.
I take 2 of them. I take a sip out of one, and I hand it to Julian after I pause for 10 seconds.
Yes. You know that's really not necessary, but thank you.
I think he just likes doing it.
This place is not
It's his way of asserting his dominance.
sanitary.
Yes, but I don't think they're out to kill me right away.
Not a right away.
Well,
I mean, always have a plan to kill anyone you meet.
Sure. That's what I like to do.
An older, skinny man at the
It's
bar.
not what I like to do. That's why I have
An older man, older, skinny man at the bar, which seemed to be in some kind of interaction with the two of those when you came in, Julian, turns his back to you and hunches over his own drink and seems to be nursing it while scribbling something in a on something. And now there are a few things you guys learned while in town. And Chris, would you like to roll me a information gathering type of roll, please?
Sure. Like intelligence, probably.
What were you holding up your hand for, John?
Is it obvious that this person's doing this?
Oh yeah, he was part of the conversation, and you guys kind of broke his conversation. So yes, yeah, he's just one of the people around that you're looking at. He's not hiding it or anything.
Ooh. 22.
Okay, and there should be a gather information skill if I'm not mistaken.
There's a history,
Insight.
investigation.
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 That's more
That's
of
fine.
like searching and looking a room for something. But
What stat?
if you want to do it,
What stat does it use?
intelligence.
We can also use that for inquiring people. There's not a wisdom-based one for talking to people and getting info. Anyhow, doesn't matter.
Insight is wisdom. Investigation is intel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess it'd be insight. Would be
good
like
enough.
looking at someone and trying to figure out what they're about.
22 is good enough for whatever
There
you
is-
rolled.
The
There's a
motives.
few things since you've been
Yeah.
in town, and you've been in town for a few hours. You did your usual round of shops to refresh whatever stuff you used and pick up and replace things, but also use that largely for kind of getting the lay of the land and the feel of things. This is something, well, that you all feel are worth doing, especially with going into a place like this that you've never been to, and it's, well, it's bigger than most places you've been to. So one of the things you picked up is a couple of days ago, some of the Rocairn working in the mines underneath the mountain and underneath the whole city, if you will, if you want to call it a city, broke through a wall that they didn't realize was a wall. And it said they found some of the artifacts of the Dark Rocairn, known as the Coal Irons. This is basically just a ancient, well, pretty much a myth, a legend of a certain clan of Rocairn that never came up to the daylight, and they became ashy-hued in skin, and they don't have the big bushy beards. They'll have beards, but it's short and wiry, and so's their hair. But nobody's ever seen one or anything like that. But they said they found some artifacts. Now, you didn't talk to anybody. This is just stuff you picked up, whispered rumors as you're, listening to the people around you, the guards walking by. They're also known as the Betrayers because it is rumored they're the reason Dathon's Pass fell a couple hundred years ago, before it was even completed being built by the three races.
Great.
But it definitely could lean into that whole exploring magic thing.
Well, gentlemen, now that we're here, I think
Yes,
we should probably speak with Jade, see what he can tell us about the network. And then perhaps we go and try and investigate these rumors of the coal iron artifacts that have been found recently.
You gonna eat the rest of that goat?
I have not touched my stew yet, but I will shortly.
Okay.
So you guys sit there and partake of dinner, having idle chit chat and conversation. The tavern, the poorhouse, as you will, clears out a little bit, and you kind of get your late wave of workers. You know, there are 4 or 5 guards come in after they're getting off duty off their shift, and the later shift took over for them. The working class clears out, and the drinking class comes in. Now, real quick, how much? I mean, I'm guessing you guys are running this like a business, and you want business, so you're encouraging business, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so. I just want to make sure you weren't like, no, we don't like people in our place. It's our place. We're living off our riches, or some stuff like that. So, yeah, it's about an hour later. You push away, and the young man has come by a few times to refill drinks as needed, or get extra hunk of bread for you, or some more cheese. And he does bring some candied prune-like fruits. You think they might actually be some sort of truffle or fungus that's been coated with honey, but you're not sure. It's not necessarily something you've run across before. So the night
How do
is,
they taste? Take a little bit.
they're good. I mean, it's got a bit of cinnamon or vanilla or something in there, along with the fungus. The fungus is delicate enough but slightly chewy, and yeah, you're at least hoping they're fungus as opposed to maybe an insect. You're not sure though.
Great.
Truffle.
I'll make sure I feed some to Archimedes. He'll probably be. He's a tiny little owl.
Mhm.
He's only like that big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he could.
Set him down on the table.
You know. Oh, well, that's much better than him tearing off a hunk and sticking it to your neck to nibble it off that.
Yeah.
You only learn that once.
You had to pay him 3
Nip the
silver.
earlobe one too many times. You go on the table to eat.
So after that point in time, do you guys want to go visit Jaith tonight or in the morning?
Tonight, I'm thinking.
Tonight? Okay. He did say later, and it has gotten further into the evening.
Now, John, I will
Maybe we
allow you
can
to
make
play.
sure.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh no! Well, I was going to say something actually. Master Julian, with your permission, I would like to get the room ready for the evening.
I think that sounds like a wonderful idea. See what they will want in payment, if they want coin or perhaps services. I don't know what they're going for here, but make sure you inquire.
I'll bow.
Very good. And Murph and Julian head out the door. You guys do know where the temple is. It's just a couple blocks away, and it's large. You know, to quote Olive Oil from the Popeye movie, it's large.
It's large.
It's
That movie is like 40 years old.
it is now, isn't it? Well, anyhow, still a good movie. And you guys go to the temple. It's a large structure, as I had mentioned. It has stone steps leading up just about 3 feet, but there's like 7 steps. There's columns in the front, a large porch, and it looks like it was added on. Originally, it looks like it had 4 sides, but newer construction on one side looks like there is now a 5th side. Well, they took... Yeah, there's been modifications, and it looks a bit odd, but unique, and it stands out. And as you guys go up to the porch, it looks rather quiet, and the double doors are pulled closed. They're large oaken doors with just wooden handles on it.
I will test the handle to see if it pulls and or pushes.
As he's reaching for the handle, I go,
Ooh,
it opens
Wasn't the
outward.
owl.
It opens
great.
outward. Yeah.
But I will.
Mhm.
Is it locked?
No, it opens. And you can smell
Great.
incense wafting from inside. And
Great. I will head in.
the antechamber within, it spans the whole front of the building, and it almost looks like a waiting area, but there are bales of certain grains and whatnot sitting in the area to the right. To the left, it seems like it's still being used for a sitting area. Then there's a large double doorway, no doors, leading into what looks like where services might be held. And there are stone benches, and this is very impressive to have this much stonework inside a building as opposed to wooden benches. And you're pretty sure they don't rearrange these for other functions. It's large for this era, but if you imagine the size of a country church in most Old West movies we see, that's kind of what you're getting for the area. And there's a raised stage on the other side with a pulpit podium type thing, and you can see there are
Nice.
yes. It's but it covers the whole back wall as opposed to just one area. But the center is raised above those side areas, and you can see other doors leading out. Most of them don't have doors, I should say. They're doorways, archways, and the construction is well crafted. It's simple, but you can see they put work in it. And matter of fact, you can see 3 young men dressed in browns and grays, pretty much common, just trousers and tunics and whatnot, and they're moving about cleaning, and one of them is working on one of the benches with a chisel and a pick and a brush, and you can hear him tinking away at it. Now, Jaith, you'll be up on the dais there, doing whatever you do when there's no services or whatnot.
Well, I'll go down to the 3 young men. Jeremy, you and the boys, we've got guests. Why don't you take the rest of the night off? And
Jeremy bobs his head and looks lovingly at the work he was doing with the chisel.
excellent work.
Thank you, Master. When may I return to it? I can wait just outside and come back as soon as you're done, if you like.
No, enjoy the evening.
Oh, I do have some tablets I've been working on with some of the commandments, if you will. That's
Ah,
and yeah, so that sounds great. It's
sounds much more fruitful.
real
Let
quick.
me find out what these gentlemen have come to the pass for.
Let me interrupt and say hello to Sandy, who just came in. Good to see you, Spring fans. Thank you for that host and possibly a raid. They don't do it if it's less than 5 people now, but good to see you. So, the 3 lads head out the door, 2 in one direction, Jeremy in the other direction, because he loves what he does and he's very passionate about it and doesn't find much sense in just going out and cavorting or going to bed early when you could do something worthwhile. Now, Jaith, what about the Watchers Beyond the Peepholes? There are relief carvings on the walls, and there are places where people can look through, and usually, because the way the world is, there's always Watchers set. Now, they are very closed-mouthed. You know, they are members of the church who are specially trained in these sort of things, but protection and awareness and perception is utmost in the tenets of Jonathan.
Well, but I also care about. Well, I don't know these 2 people, so I'll take them back to my personal chambers.
Very good. Or there is, you know, other antechambers where you can just sit and talk. Generally, they have a
Yeah,
table
wherever
with a
the
couple
club
benches.
board is.
So it's up to you if you want to go to a private room or your personal chambers. Your call.
I will go to a private room.
Okay. When you guys get there,
Oh.
the
Go
room
ahead.
itself is rather simple. There is a 3 slits in the wall that are each about an arm length tall and just wide enough you could probably squeeze your wrist through it, but not your elbow and forearm. Um, Perhaps an arrow slit, perhaps just for the breeze and whatnot. And each of these they have the wooden shutters closed over, and they're thin shutters and they're decorated. There is more relief carvings in this room on the wall, mostly scroll work and whatnot, but one nice, very bas relief of Jonathan carving a mountain with his godly powers. Other than that, there's a large wooden picnic table type situation and a couple benches in there, and there is a side board which has various glasses and a pitcher of water. Jace, if you want more than that, you could have prepared ahead of time with anything that you wanted.
I'll give them some of the wonderful Cavalon ale.
Mm. Very good. Jezzael, you're not going for anything harder?
Nah, he seems kind of young.
Aaron, can you do me a favor? Give us a quick description of Murph, please.
Big. Murph he stands a good head taller than Julian here. He's got very sharp features. The cheekbones are sharp. The ears, they're not pointed, but they come to almost a point.
Mm-hmm.
Hair is copper colored, very tawny. The eyebrows they're almost fading away, but he's got very distinct, like he's underfed, but too big to be underfed, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yes. So he's not quite gaunt.
He's not. He's got the appearance of gaunt, but muscular. Which,
Gotcha. A runner's build, a swimmer's build.
Yes.
Now, what kind
But
of...
anywhere where a bone is, you can kind of see it browing out.
Very good.
Sharp chin, sharp cheekbones, large knuckles, and it looks like nails are very well kept.
And his
Like he spends a
clothing?
lot of time on them. Clothing, browns and greens, light leather armor on, and then just kind of a regular dust cloak.
Any weapons visible?
One sword on his hip, friggin' few knives. Nothing spectacular.
Okay. And any sort of accent or special thing to his voice that we should know about?
Not really. He'll very informal.
Okay.
Like
He's a
Jules,
simple
what
man.
is the plan?
He's a simple man.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Jaith, what are you wearing tonight?
Well, I was in my regular, dress clothes because I was at the poorhouse, obviously. Right now, simple robe, got the beard tied down, and I'm not wearing armor or anything. Just
Okay. Okay.
no hammer.
But good sturdy boots and whatnot.
Indeed.
No, I'm
The,
guessing you have your hammer. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
I will always have that strapped to the side or somewhere.
Okay. Okay, so you guys settle into the room, and he pours you some ale that he had prepared. And this is actually poured out of a small keg that he has set on the sideboard there. Did you have any snacks prepared? Any breads or cheeses or cut meats? Or because they just ate.
I mean,
Your call.
well, I'd still have, if they want to get it, it's there. So
There you go.
some bread, some cheeses.
Maybe some raisins and nuts.
A quick question though is, I know 3 years have passed.
Yes.
What is the common perception of still of magic or knowledge of the portals?
knowledge of the portals is kept tight secret, especially after they reopened. It was kind of a open secret when they were working to open them, but once they were open, they're like, we need to make sure this information doesn't become popular rumor. As for magic, magic is still frowned upon. Now, Dathon's Pass is slightly different. You will catch. Now, a lot of the species died during the downfall. You almost never see a goblin anymore or ogres. You know, they're very much out of the area. But here, you will see strange races and species more often than not. You do have a trade agreement with the Thri-Kreen, who are still watching over that horrible mess just to the east of you on the edge of the desert in the crags. You remember that, Jaith. You remember that well. And matter of fact, there's been rumors, Jaith, and you did have a man in the poorhouse observing these folks who came and gave you the information about what went on, which wasn't much. Eavesdropping without being rude about it, that kind of stuff. Jaith, you know there is other things with the portals. There is you remember that room you found that they were mutating people with that you guys converted back to?
Right.
There is
The forge.
right. There's been hints of multiple massive compartments like that underground here. Nobody's found one. You're not sure where the rumor started, but you know these things, in theory, possibly exist down there. But yes, magic has started coming back in a less warped way than it did a couple years ago when you started hanging out with Moggets and Kavlon.
I'm sorry, you're Master Julian?
Yes. Master Julian Cavington, and this is my Uncle Murph. Well, he's not really my uncle, more like family friend, but I've always called him uncle as he's always been around. I've heard some rumors through some channels and paid quite a bit of services and money to get said information, but I'm interested in natures of the arcane, and so was my uncle Roy.
Or his untimely death.
Yes,
Jaith,
So gave in.
hey Jaith,
it was.
give me a insight roll, please.
23.
Very good. Here's what I'm going to tell you. You can read this kid like an open book. Murph is a little harder, but not because you feel like he's hiding anything, but because you feel like he's not hiding anything, and that's just weird to you. I mean, you're an open, honest person, and you respect that, but it's not normal. Matter of fact, you tend to think people are either simple or really good at lying when you think they're not lying.
Let me temper what I'm going to tell you with that it would be in your best interest not to speak out loud about the portals or about what you're searching for.
All right. That
It
is
will garner attention that you might not want.
If only somebody had told you that before.
You know what? Shush, you. Yes, you were right. I'm sorry for being inquisitive and asking questions.
We're going on a treasure hunt.
So, specifically, what would you like to know?
Well, I'd love to know more. Yeah, I feel like I can trust a priest of Joneth.
Do you want an
Here
insight
in
roll
his temple.
also, Chris?
What?
You want an insight roll also?
Sure.
And make this an advantage because you've been here for a few days and you've observed things. And specifically asked
Man, I
about
love
these.
this guy. Yay, natural 20!
There we go.
So that is 23.
Okay. Now, what you know about Jaith, you could basically take the knowledge you have previously from your other character and add to it. He's open, he's honest, he's blunt, to the point where most people think he's an asshole. But he wants what he wants, he makes it clear, and he's not selfish or greedy. He's very selfless. He just wants to see people be safe and protected. And when I say people, not just his inner circle, but the whole town and even the whole world. From everything you've seen about him, heard about him, researched about him, when you researched his travels, and you remember New Dunstan, I'm sorry. You've heard the town called both things. Dunwith is actually a day of the week, though, so it didn't make sense, and further research revealed Dunstan. You're not sure about the rumor of him facing off with 2 dragons. That's just ridiculous. But, yeah, you're pretty sure he's not out to screw you. And if he's cautious, there's a very viable reason. Okay, go on, Jack.
Great.
Now, I'm sure that you have observed the a rather chaotic weather's getting less chaotic.
I have.
I tend to also think that that might be due to magic maybe stabilizing. It's hard to say. There's been rumors of things. Who do you plan on taking with you on your little quest?
Uncle Murph and my good friend Baldereth.
The short servant that was with you.
Yes.
Yes, the raptor monkey.
The I can't caution you any more than what that is. If you need anything, or if you need any help, you can seek our counsel. Take what Mogget says to you with a grain of salt, but usually there's some truth blended in there somehow. Perhaps they might have some stuff that will help you, whenever you decide to. I mean, do you even know where you're going?
Well, I don't, which is why one of the reasons I came to see you all is, I've heard that Moggets is a mighty wizard, and I have started, well, that is definitely the word on the street, or that comes through the great caravan.
Jaith, you do remember some 18 months ago where Moggets did an active PR campaign to spread that around.
There was a lovely gentleman leading a very large wagon campaign, wagon parade that comes through our area, and he was talking about things. And ever since I was little, my uncle would, he dabbled in the arcane himself, and I have taken an interest and have learned more and would like to bring, I don't want to call it balance to the arcane of the world, but I would like to see it in a better light and definitely bring it back and
You don't want to
find,
get hunted to death.
well,
Well,
yes, that.
Before you bring it to a better light, let your deeds bring that to a better light. Now, don't try to. I would keep it to yourself until those things happen. As for Mr. Moggets, he's a very knowledgeable man. It's just you have to pick what is useful and what's not. How's that?
good to know. I will
He's
keep
been
that
around
in.
for as long as he has, and not for lack of trying to sometimes stop us from what we're trying to do. But that's other things possibly.
Because I believe that artifacts of our past should belong in a museum, and it's one of the things that my Uncle Roy really instilled in me while we were delving into dungeons to discover
I think he's afraid to lock
artifacts
them
and
in a
things.
box behind glass.
Well, I mean, sure, but it should be the world's hidden secrets should and could be found and brought to the light, and there should be some people to do that.
No. Well, again, seek the wisdom of your elders before you just bring random things back to the world to put behind or into a museum. Some of those things need to be destroyed, not rescued or preserved. But I think you seem well read, at least in the arcane. So
If I can interrupt
I'm
real
just saying,
quick, I want to raise a
cautious,
glass
yeah.
to Estrine Studios, who is now hosting and I believe probably rating. Again, Twitch does it. Here's to you, buddy. Pardon us while we pay close attention to the game, but thank you for joining us and everybody who came along with you. Welcome to the tavern.
You're here.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Go on. So he's-
Well,
Hmm.
certainly, if I find artifacts and things, I could bring them back. I've heard tales that there are a great many arcane secrets buried below this city, and I think me and my companions are going to spend some time here trying to investigate and search these things. So maybe if we find anything, or if you hear of something, we can bring them back here to you for either the church to protect or send us to somewhere that they could be useful.
Thunder.
We'll definitely seek out Mayor Cavalon first.
Thunder rumbles, and the building shakes slightly from it. And you can see the flash of lightning outside, and you can hear the weather pelting through the slits against the shutters. And not drastically, just there's that moment where it kicks up.
It might be a good time for you to get back to the poorhouse if that's where you're going to stay for the evening.
It definitely is. My good
Because
friend
it's-
there, Baldareth, has hopefully secured us lodgings for the evening.
Very good. We're going to take this, and you guys part ways, and Jaith goes and seeks out Moggitz and Kavlon to, of all things, and it makes him roll his own eyes when he thinks of this, he's going to them for their counsel to see, here's somebody who's kind of taking up that torch that you guys had once carried, and you have a chance to guide them in a way where, well, it matches your own goals and hopes without conflicting with these, well, the one young person and a little short guy and the old, grumpy guy. Cautious. You kind of like him.
Indeed.
It's, So, shall we have you guys gathering around the small table in the kitchen after the closing of the poorhouse? There might still be somebody coming in. Do you ever shut your doors? Do you close at a certain time, or do you keep somebody there all? Okay. So there is somebody out there at the bar. You tend to keep 2 people on staff at all times. Food is limited after hours, though whatever's left over, they can scrounge it out. And you don't usually have business, but it's always best to conduct certain business in the wee hours. And the 3 of you are sitting around that table with your drinks, perhaps, yes?
New test mead.
Do we have a brief thing to do for something that Ball wants to do before they get back?
Absolutely. If you guys don't mind, we'll have you guys play cockroaches on the wall if you have to, or whatever. If you're so inclined or want to add atmosphere without totally interfering, go ahead. What's Ball doing?
Well, I might run into one of their characters. We'll see.
Oh, very good. If you
But
see
anyways,
them out, let us know.
Ball, after Julian and Murph leave. Oh, it's about time. Get me something to drink.
The young lad that's been helping you looks over as he's wiping down another table and clearing it and says, "And what would you have, sir?
Not that.
Perhaps something a bit stronger in the spirits."
Yes.
And
I think you overheard they need a room.
yes, will one room do, or is there more than one room necessary?
Well, he wants a room of his own, and then so we'll need two.
Very good. Very good. We do have two
While you're
available.
taking care of that, I need to look around.
Very good. I mean, we don't generally allow patrons into the kitchen area, but
Oh, it'll be okay. Trust me. Do you want? I mean, you work just like I do, right?
perhaps.
So
Yes.
remember when the boss gets upset with you and starts making you do things that you don't want to do? If I don't go and make sure that everything is to Master Julian's satisfaction, I am going to catch it later on. Can you help me? Can you just let me have a little bit of levity to walk around and take a look at things?
Well, you can look into the kitchen, but they don't want people back there messing with things.
I won't. You won't even notice me.
Then I guess.
I'll push him a silver piece. Just pay attention over there, and I'll go take care of this.
You get the feeling he's very loyal to these folks who run this place, but he's young and nervous, and he's not necessarily used to having any sort of authority that you're kind of projecting on him here, even if it's a backhanded authority. So he's just
Okay.
kind of like he doesn't want to tell you no, but no is the right answer to tell you.
Well, as soon as he turns to go do whatever he's doing, I'm going to try to find my way to the brewery.
Okay. So, into the kitchen you go, I guess, right?
Yep.
You're guessing it's through, because from looking at the setup, and Chris, once you have it drawn up, we'll know a little more. But I'm guessing from what we said, the way to the brewery is through the kitchen.
It is.
And it's an attached part of the
Interesting.
building.
The kitchen's small-ish, and then there's like two doors that go into the larger brewery
Very good.
back behind the
So you're able to...
kitchen,
Now-
which is where Kavlon is currently working.
Is this a nice steamy kitchen with different things going on? I mean,
It's pretty much shut down at this point in time because it is later in the evening. But as you make your way to the kitchen doorway and look in, you do see the red-headed dwarf in there puttering about doing things. There is a woman in there who is setting stuff back in cupboards and tidying up and wiping the flour off the cutting board and whatnot.
okay. Well, if there's any smoke or anything by where they cook, I will use a bit of magic to make it a little thicker, and I will try to stealth my way past them into the brewery.
Melsa, the woman in the kitchen, says, "Oh my!" And she turns to the smoking area where the grease on the cooking area has kind of started smoking and sweltering. Kavlon, you just give me a perception roll, sir.
Great. Let's keep rolling this really nice new die. Alright, what is my perception? 17.
Yep, you turn to look, and as you're looking, you noticed. Now, let's make this a resisted roll. You have a stealth there, John?
Of course I do. Be a 24.
Good enough. I leave it up to you if you want.
Because I would be inside the brewery itself. Probably
Oh, I thought you were in the
Kavlon would
kitchen.
be setting up and making sure things are ready to go for the evening throughout the vats and wandering around inside the brewery so that things will cook okay overnight.
Okay, so here's how this goes. Melsa turns away. You slide past her. You slip through the door to the brewery, opening it and closing it gently behind you. You see Kavlon puttering about in the brewery. It is a large thing. There's multiple stills. There is multiple casks and kegs, even tons. T-U-N. We all familiar with that term?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yes.
So yeah, you could
About
definitely.
22 liters.
It's about what?
22 liters, I think, is the equivalent of a ton.
I'm thinking the huge
One
keg.
day's dwarven brew.
I'm thinking the huge ones that's, half the height of a man when laying on its side. It's but you tell me, this is your dig, so you can decide what it looks like. But yeah, you can step behind a rack of kegs and get into that room without Kavlon noticing you. At any point in time, you decide to make yourself known. But yes, you slip in.
It's 1,150 liters, by the way,
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
or
a weak
303
word.
U.S. gallons.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's 1150 liters is a ton.
very good. Okay, so what
Now, is everything well labeled in said brewery? Or is it haphazard?
Chris?
Oh, no, it is very meticulously labeled in Dwarvish.
Guess I'll have to go by sense of smell then, since I don't read Dwarvish.
Well, there are certain things that would be obvious and key. I mean, you can kind of tell that one's probably beer, that one's probably brandy, that one's probably, grain.
I'm looking for
alcohol.
something that's really, really fancy looking, that's kind of isolated by itself, that might be special.
Trying to steal my private stock?
No, not trying. I'm going to.
It's you're able to find something like that. It takes you a few minutes, about 7 minutes to get into position to do it. Moving, staying the shadows, staying still more than ducking, just so the movement doesn't catch attention. And you're able to pick up a small keg that looks like the good stuff.
I will. I'm going to transfer it into my wineskin, because that might be a little hard to sneak out of
So
there.
you want to open the tap and pour it into your wineskin without being noticed. I'll have you make another stealth roll at disadvantage, and this is going to be opposed by Chris with a perception roll.
No, stay on the table.
Low roll is 14.
Ooh,
I got a 19.
I rolled a natural 19, so plus 3 of 21.
So, Kavlon, you notice one of those figures who came in earlier. You saw him through the kitchen, all three of them. And, yeah, they don't seem like they're stealing a lot. It almost seems like you know how the young does stupid things for just to do them? It feels like that. And they don't look like they're trying to take the whole thing. Just about a quart. And you heard the dribble of liquid, even over the puffing of the stills and the dribbles over here. And you've noticed it, but you haven't turned around to confront yet. So I'll let you take it from here.
I will continue to look like I'm working, but move to like a next section so that I can be out of sight of him. And try and work my way around to be behind him.
You're going to try to stealth the stealthy. Now, are you heading to block the door or come around the other side?
No, come around behind him.
Okay.
Whichever direction is behind him.
So, Ball, what you see is the Rocairn move into the back part of the room and start messing with stuff. Let me ask real quick, where's Moggets at this hour?
Drunk at his desk in back office.
Okay, so that'd be off the kitchen also in the other direction, or is that off
Yeah.
the brewery? Perhaps a door to the brewery and
Off
a
the
door to the
kitchen.
kitchen? Does
Possibly.
that sound reasonable, Cavlon, there?
Well, what?
Mogget's office has a door into the brewery as well as a door into the kitchen.
Yes, that would be the second door, and it's probably like our shared work office. So like I have a little desk, and most of the office is Mogget stuff, but I have enough place that I can sit down and do
Paperwork.
keep recipes, that sort of thing.
Now, Mogget, here's what I'm going
And then
to...
Mogget has his own secret little lab behind his little like general store bit.
Or perhaps it's in
It's
a,
in my
a trap door in the floor that he descends a ladder to. Now, Mogget,
Yeah.
Under the desk.
you keep the door to the kitchen closed because it's hot and it's steamy. And you keep the door, unless you tell me otherwise,
That is loud.
you keep the door to the brewery cracked. Just 3-4 inches. Because actually those sounds are kind of comforting. It's like a white noise and it's kind of comforting. You do have a window open, cracked at least, because the kitchen and the heat, until it shuts down, you don't tend to shut it. You'll be shutting it soon because it's getting chilly in here and the weather has picked up. It is a thunder sleet storm thing going on out there, and it's not coming in sideways or anything, but it's you can hear it tacking against the shutters that you have closed, even though the window beyond is opened. And you actually do have, because you're fancy, you actually have glass in there as opposed to just waxed paper or waxed canvas for the window. So,
and there's a copper pipe that comes through the wall, and it's split. One goes to his desk and one goes to my desk with a little tap on it, and it's just booze that can fill up your cup with whatever I have stashed in there as current, like overstock or
then there's a third tap going beyond Mogget's desk to where a stool and one small, like 2 foot by 2 foot table is, and that's where Jaith will come in and sit and drink the good stuff in the back with you. And actually, there's a stack of books on that chair, that stool that he sits on right now, and there's the usual clutter, because Mogget's, I'm guessing you're not necessarily quite as retentive with your paperwork as he is with his brewery.
No, I am intentionally not.
Very good. Very good. So, Ball.
As soon as I see said Mr. Rocairn head off, I am going to try to make my way back out of this place.
Very good. And now that you've got eyes on this stealthy person, you're able to keep tracking. Unless there's something special you can do, John, that will suddenly make him lose track of you once he's seen you.
I don't know that he's doing it, so
Correct. Yeah.
I can only react to if something else happens.
Works for me. Good.
Like if Moggets comes running out of the side room or whatever, I mean, I
Right.
might. But currently, I'm just gonna think I'm working this out and heading out of here.
And you start heading out at the same careful...
my stealth was 17.
Your what?
My stealth was 17, and I essentially want to walk up behind him and do a stunning strike jab, like right to the fucking kidney.
Give a perception roll.
Well, I can make a perception roll.
Yes.
For that. Is it at advantage or is it at disadvantage also?
No.
The stealth. I mean the perception.
No.
I think that's 19. Hold on. My perception is +2, so 19.
So, you're heading for the door when you realize you don't see the Rocairn at all, and you turn to look because you're like, yeah, I should be able to see this guy, and he's right behind you. We can have an initiative if you guys want. for role-playing sake, I leave it up to you.
Oh, good evening, Master Cavalon. I've been asked by my charge to come and see how you were doing, and check on Master Moggets also. This is a fine establishment you have here, but I need to be on my way.
So you come in here with your brand new fancy friend and try and steal my good stuff. Is that what you're saying, sir?
No, steal what? I wouldn't steal anything.
I wouldn't steal anything.
Yeah.
It's a bright pink leather flask.
That's not in my hand. That's it.
And Moggets, you can hear the voices. Nice. Is that Fortnite? Or just
No, it's
llama?
friggin' the poison to kill Cusco.
Oh.
Cusco's poison. The poison specifically chosen to kill Cusco? That poison?
Yes.
And
Yes, yes.
And Moggets, you can hear voices that sound tense from the other room, though you can't make out the words.
Open the door a crack, look out.
All right, now you can set off initiative because I got to get out of here.
Let me roll an insight to, I guess, your deception to see if you're lying about stealing my...
No, I didn't steal the good stuff.
My deception is actually what I do.
Oh, this
Three is
good
8.
stuff.
I'm sorry, John, what'd you say?
How much?
18.
And Chris?
I got an 18.
I also got an 18.
Okay. Let's make the rule. Let's just go ahead and do a re-roll on that one then.
That would be a 17.
Mine's a 19.
Okay.
Yeah, this isn't looking so good.
I can clearly see you drop some of the good brandy while trying to transfer it to your wineskin there, little guy.
All right. Well,
Party foul? Really?
so Mr. Moggets is at the door, correct?
He's
Yep.
leaning, looking through.
All right.
He hasn't
Well,
gotten out of his desk.
Here's where initiative probably is important because I plan on slamming the door shut on Mr. Moggets.
Okay. Now,
All right.
that door
My-
is across the room. You're not right next to it or anything. You will have to...
I'm going to use thaumaturgy to slam the door shut
okay.
while he's in the doorway.
Well, he's not in the doorway. He's still sitting at his desk. He's just leaning to look through the cracked door.
Oh, I thought he was looking through the door.
No.
Right.
He's still
Yeah,
leaning.
I just pulled the door open.
Yeah, see? Pulled the door open. I'm going to slam the door shut. And then
Okay, now you're using like a mage hand type thing, right?
thaumaturgy.
And what exactly?
It's similar, yes.
Okay. So I'm
It's
guessing
thaumaturgy.
what we're going to do is just give whoever wins initiative between you and Moggets. If you win initiative, you catch him unaware, snatch it out of his hand. If he wins initiative, he has a good enough grip to tighten it so it won't work.
19 plus...
And Kavlon, go ahead and do your initiative too, just so we have it all.
22.
He beat me.
You said what, John?
I got a 22.
Oh, he beat me by far.
And Kavlon?
19 is my initiative.
Very good. You do your little wave of your hand, calling upon the eldritch energies, and the wind kicks up, and the door jerks out of his hand and slams closed. Now,
And I run.
okay.
Well, I disengage, and then I dash. That's a bonus action.
Okay.
Off I go.
Kavlon.
What's your walking speed?
Running speed. in this
30.
case.
Great. My walking speed is 40. I'm a quick, stout motherfucker. So I will
Do you want to get
catch up to you.
You could get in front of him and
Uh,
shut the other door.
Yeah, but if he moves before me, so he'd be able to make it out of the room before I could get around him.
That's true.
But I could catch up to him while he's running.
That's true.
So I guess I meet him when he's gotten into the kitchen,
Um,
and I will try and non-lethally punch him twice.
which, by the way, is a great strategy when you're in combat to take out enemies who have high armor to just do knockout damage.
Does a 20 hit?
Yes.
Great.
No, I'm a paladin. Take it.
I have a +7 to hit.
I have a good armor class. Not that good.
So I'm guessing a stunning strike.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's
Like right to the kidney.
what's
I
he,
just go.
what's he need to roll?
He needs to roll a DC 14 Constitution save.
Well, I make the con save, but I might not survive the damage that it does.
As far as I know, we're going to call this again non-lethal damage. So he's going to roll damage, but it's going to be,
Right.
blunt force. So it might knock you unconscious, but
He's not trying to kill you.
Well,
right.
I don't
No,
have,
I'm not. I specifically said I'm not trying to kill him, and I'm
I
trying to
only have
stop.
9 hit points, so I mean, he could probably
Probably. Remembering how he used
You
to
had how many hit points?
9.
Well, I did 8 points of damage.
Woo! I get to run some more.
John, this
Well, that was only attack 1. I still have another attack.
No, that includes including your move, yeah. Now, John, this is when
Well, I get two attacks. I could do 4 attacks to you if I really wanted to.
So, John,
So
this is when it enters Ball's head that this was a bad idea and a bad way to approach this. It's next time when you do this to these guys, you're definitely going to try to con them instead.
I tried that. He wouldn't buy it.
And Moggets opened the door again, and he's leaning back in his chair and looking again.
I'm waiting for the backhand to hit me.
Go ahead.
my second attack is a 17.
Well, that hits me too.
Grand. Stunning strike again, so make another Constitution.
I have 1 hit point.
Well, I know, but if I can stun you and do no damage, I will stun you in place. Say some things, and then knock you unconscious. Because that's how my key works.
All right. Well, I guess you'll be knocking me with damage unconscious because I made your con save.
Great. Then I will slap the other kidney and watch him fall to the floor.
No monologuing?
And
I
then
thought you were
you
going to
can-
say some stuffs. No, would he come back?
I
Or...
was going to try, but he resisted the stunning strike, so the damage just went through.
Oh, very good. Okay.
I was going to try and be witty, and he just collapsed when I hit him, and I went,
All
well,
right.
son of a bitch.
I am going to. Oh, I can't do that yet. Never mind.
Okay.
I was going to hurt him back a little bit while I was going unconscious, but I
You,
can't do that.
you slump sideways gracefully into a pile on the floor. Now, Moggets is now looking through the kitchen door that he's opened up. And Kavlon is standing over an unconscious form. And Melsa,
1 week. I asked you to wait 1 week before knocking out the next one.
Hey, you do not try and steal the good stuff. He could have tried to steal the crappy stuff, and I probably would have let him go, but he was into my private stock.
That's the decoy stock.
Still, it is the good decoy stock.
It's piss water.
I will take his wineskin back and just hand it to Moggets. It's fine. I'm sure his friends will be back for him, and we will make them pay for it, because we can.
I mean, he does have a pouch. He's been tossing around silver all day long.
I will not go through his pockets. I will not prevent you from going through his pockets. I have retrieved
Because you are
what
so
I-
ethical, sir.
I have retrieved what was stolen from me.
What about for what he stole? Or what he spilled?
Well, we will take that up with his apparent master when he returns from seeing Jave. In the meantime, I will take him upstairs and lock him in a room.
We could put him on a stick put him on the top of Steve.
I mean, I'm sure that would be funny to leave him out in the cold, dark rain, but I would rather not have more dead bodies in my bar.
I thought,
Our bar.
Is-
I'm sorry, our bar.
is Steve outside?
No, Steve rarely goes outside unless I'm going somewhere. He's gotten a little fat, like fatter than he probably should be because he's a big lazy bird who gets fed by the kids. Like,
He's a large chicken now.
I
Very
was
much
just-
big birdish.
Because Malgus suggested putting a stick up by Steve and putting the thief on the stick next to Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he actually
Just
said
out of reach.
on Steve, but I would think next to would be more appropriate.
But like the horse where you put the horse in the water, just out of reach, so the horse follows it.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Steve isn't if Steve wanted to get out of the little pen, Steve could like stand up and step over the pen.
Right.
Like,
Figure it's like two wooden
the
rails
pen
that are
sort
2
of
feet
the
tall.
people away from Steve, then Steve away from the people.
Okay. Let's play one more scene here. And then have the characters go to bed. Everybody good for time for a couple more minutes? Okay.
So essentially, in the two rooms that they did whatever, I'll put Baldareth in one and essentially swaddle him in bed so that he's like, when he wakes up, he's like super tucked in, like awkwardly weird, so that it's like kind of hard to move, but like there's no real restraints there. It's just really tightly tucked.
Mhm.
We made a burrito.
Yeah, essentially.
Very good.
Very humiliating to
So-
those who find him.
So, it was then decided that Moggets would do the talking instead of Kavlon, because Kavlon is busy tucking him in upstairs. Jaith escorts Murph
That's what we call full service.
and what's his face there? Murph and Julian
Julian.
back. So now we have Chris playing Julian, Murph going straight upstairs or checking the horses, whatever, and decides unless you want to play two for a moment. Because Murph is
Outside checking the horses again.
very good. So in comes
Making sure they yeah.
Jaith and Jules. And there's Moggets. Moggets, you have plenty of time to plan. Do you want to be sitting in a chair in the middle of the room with your arms crossed? Do you want to be leaning against a bar casually drinking like Han Solo? But what's your setup? Because you've moved to 4 different positions in the room trying to decide which is the best way to handle this. Because you kind of
I'm
appreciate
thinking
what
the,
the kid did.
I'm thinking the bard stool.
The bard still. So do you actually have a bard that is a contortionist that you pay to use as furniture for emphasis in certain places?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, the stool that we normally park the bard in.
Oh, okay. How is it different from any other stool?
Hmm?
How is it different from any
Because
other?
he's got his little stage. It's 4 inches higher than everything else. It's hard to keep the cats off of it. It's got one little yellow square that's 2 foot by 2 foot, and the stool sits there.
Very good.
What was it? WRKRP Les Nethman's office. It's just painted on.
So, there's Moggets sitting on the stool, a cat sitting at his foot, and another cat stretching up to claw at his calf to try to get up onto his lap. And Jaith comes in with Julian, and Jaith, you recognize the look in Mogget's eyes. Something happened. And he's going to run
Interesting night.
Mogget's, he's talking to you.
What? No.
Well,
What?
But-
Sorry, Roy's nephew. Roy's nephew. Your little monkey creature.
Yes, my good friend there, Baldareth.
Oh.
When I come in, I'll put my hood down, and my owl will shake to try and get all of the sleet and water, and he essentially just puffs out.
Well, okay. Well, your good friend, the little monkey creature, insulted Kavlon.
I'm sorry, he did what now?
He insulted him by stealing some of the beer, stealing some of the brandy that he, well, spilling the brandy he was trying to steal.
Oh, Jesus. Not again.
Oh, so you were aware that this is something that he commonly does?
It has happened in the past.
This is the good stuff. It is known as the Tears of the Heaven. Do you know how much we sell that for?
Oh, no. I'm not sure I really want to know. How
Look,
much is this going to cost me?
I'm merely pointing out that this stuff is so good that if it was in women's underwear, they would dissolve.
Jaith, do you recognize the stuff he's talking about?
Nope. I'm just putting up with it. Look, I get you want to shake the young man down.
It's not that I want to shake him down, it's that he insulted Kavlon.
Let's think about the future.
This is about the principle. Now, we are reasonable people. All right? He
Well-
wanted to acquire something, and I think a fitting message is for him to acquire something for us.
Good. That leads into what Master Julian is here to speak to you about.
Beautiful.
Oh,
He
good. Maybe
and
we have a
his other
mutually
two
beneficial
associates
arrangement.
would like to go and, well, they're seeking information about artifacts or other things that are in the area, but they're willing
aren't any
to
artifacts in the
seek
area.
our counsel on it. But
Sit, Julian.
All right. I'm not sure I like where this is going.
I'll pull a table
You
up
shouldn't.
and a bench, so he doesn't have to sit on the barred stool.
No, I believe Mogget's is sitting on the barred stool.
No, that's so he doesn't have to sit next to him on the
Oh,
barred
okay.
stool.
No. Crisscross applesauce on the floor like a child.
Oh, man.
No.
I'm going to have to
I'm-
refuse.
I pulled the table up and the bench. Have a seat, sir.
Lovely. I will sit down. Archimedes up. Put my staff down.
Very well. We are in need of materials. I believe you are looking for things.
Yes.
The materials I need would be co-located with the things that you desire.
I see.
Now, if I can interrupt real quick, a few thoughts I can put in each character's head to assist in this, because I love where you guys are headed with this. First of all, Julian, you know they know people. They're people of renown. They're somewhat public, possibly important figures in town, but you haven't really determined that besides what they did. Jaith, you know you guys have connections within the council, and you know what this kid wants to do. Moggets, there's a chance for profit. And you're unsure what Jaith and this kid talked about, but you heard a little bit, from what the staff told you, reading Jaith's face, him saying that leads into what I was going to do. So you see an opportunity to really coincide with Jaith here, to move forward into you profiting, Jaith doing whatever it is Jaith wants to do that's all noble and shit, and this kid getting his adventure.
Friend out of Hawk.
His what?
His friend out of Hawk.
Well, yes, but also his adventure, his whatever this quest is he has in his head. Okay.
Dungeon delving to find treasure to bring back to the world. He's so starry-eyed.
And power
Now,
and magic for
Was there a
myself.
specific?
Hmm?
Was there a specific item that you were looking for? Because
Well, I do believe that I'm on my vassal's path now indentured to you all in some way. So, well, I'm not entirely sure what exactly I am looking for, but I've heard rumors that there are some magical relics that have
Oh,
been
there are.
unearthed here in the city. So I would certainly love to learn more about whatever these artifacts are.
you know what? I can arrange a meeting. But wouldn't it be better to go down and find some of the relics that you might have exclusive access to?
Jaith, what do you think on this?
Acquire these relics for you.
Oh, no. I need materials.
Look, Moggets. They're young.
Mm-hmm.
They have a purpose.
Right.
Um,
You remember the
We're not
invulnerability of
sending
youth?
them to where they are going to fail.
No.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
away tools.
So, again, think about the future. Anything that they find, they're going to bring to me so we can make sure that it's not something that's dangerous.
We don't want it to hurt them, of course.
No, I don't want it to hurt anyone.
Oh, yes. Yeah, of course. No. I am merely looking for. There's some special mushrooms down there. Kavlon has been talking about them for months. But I believe they are going to be an indicator of what they are looking for. The mushrooms tend to absorb a little bit of residual magic. So if he can find a good stash of them, there should be one of his relics nearby. All I'm asking him to do is gather up some mushrooms while he's down there.
That seems agreeable.
So,
I'm sure that Master Cavalon can come up with a list and what they look like and what they're looking for.
Oh, yes.
Have you been given the gift to be able to at least feel magic, see it, Julian?
Yes, I am able to detect faint traces of
Good.
an arcane nature.
Get back with your associates, find out what they're going to need or what they might need us to help, and safe journeys.
and we'll end it here.
Well,
Go ahead.
while I have the both of you here, it appears that we are going to be working here in town for a bit. So maybe my associates and I can use your lovely tavern and inn as a base of operations. Maybe we can
Oh.
pay for our 2 rooms
Of course
in
I'll
advance,
pay.
say for the month, and come and go as needed.
Very good. Let's stop it
can
here
work
for
out a arrangement.
tonight,
Yes.
and we'll pick this up next week. I want to thank everybody who hung out with us. Appreciate that. Want to thank everybody who threw bits tonight and subscribed, followed,
Woo-hoo.
rated, hosted, etc. Especially want to thank our folks on Patreon and the folks who subscribe via PayPal every month. Appreciate all that support. Make sure you join us next week as we continue the Dark Holes storyline. and they delve deep into the earth below the cursed city of Dathon. And we will see you then. Here's some outro music.
Warlords squabble over small patches of land. Priests call to the faithful, assuring their followers of the gods will spare them. Magic has reset the laws of nature. People struggle to survive, fearing their own kind as much as the monsters in the shadows. All this amongst the remnants of undead terrors roaming demons and other horrors. This is the world now, entering a dark age where one must steal or use steel just to survive